Yes, and start. Madam, there was also a reference to unemployment, which I agree is a very serious problem which requires serious attention. Our government has certainly given it the desired attention and taken up those programs which have helped in generating employment both in the rural areas and in the urban areas. According to my friend, the number of unemployed is increasing, maybe compared to 1947 and now. Yes, but he must not forget that the India of 2000 is not the India of 1947. The face of India has changed. The face of our rural India has changed. Our population, madam, has more than trebled in this intervening period. If we talk in terms of pure mathematics, then the entire population of India as on 15th August 1947 has been brought above the poverty line. But what have they themselves been doing for the poor and for the unemployed, both in West Bengal and in Tripura? Have unemployment and poverty vanished from West Bengal? Has it vanished in Tripura? In the case of West Bengal, it is the one state in India where the economy has been most mismanaged, where unemployment is given not keeping in view the deserving nature of a case, not keeping in view the social and economic plight of an individual, but whether whether he holds the red card of the CPI within bracket M or not. The same were appointing party cadres as school teachers without any school buildings, denying employment to genuine unemployed youth because the people are more inclined towards the Congress government. These friends on the other side are becoming upset upset to an extent that they have refused to accept the verdict of the people. They have refused to accept the mandate given by the people to Congress party even in the latest election in Tripura. Madam, coming back to the situation which prevailed last year, it is a matter of concern that we continue to have a serious challenge posed by the fundamentalists. It is well known that they have been getting the assistance from across the border where training camps have been set up. They are getting weapons from there, and innocent people, including women and children, are becoming increasingly the victims of such sources. We condemn this outside interference and assistance, and we should not have any reservations. Sir, the other threat which we face because of the military build up across our borders is also a threat for all of us to face. While I will dwell on it later, what I find is that friends on the other sides sometimes ignore or refuse to accept that it is equally their responsibility to be one with the government on these issues, those issues which concern all of us as a nation. Last year, we have also seen the worst drought of the country, more severe than what was there in 1967. The drought affected 240 districts in the country. In some parts of Saurashtra and Rajasthan, it was for the third or fourth successive year that the drought was there, and in Bengal, Assam, and parts of Bihar do had floods. It was a great challenge, and I commend the government for having geared itself up. The government did not for a moment say away from its responsibilities. In spite of the enormity of the challenge, the situation was met effectively. We all know with what promptness the central teams were dispatched to all the affected states to assess the damage or the loss. Timely assistance was provided to the people, particularly to the farmers. The public distribution system was strengthened. Water was made available. Essential commodities were made available, and there was no panic. In any other country, particularly in a developing country, a crisis of this magnitude would have resulted in panic. But here we commend the government for having weathered the storm, and in addition to that, for the alertness with which the counter fiscal measures have been taken and financial discipline introduced in the country to check the inflationary trend. I will not go into details about the economic achievements which have been mentioned in detail by my esteemed colleague, but may I say that this challenge of drought is certainly not over. We must never be complacent. We have to invoke the latest technology to unearth our hidden groundwater resources. We have to ensure adequate growth in production of fodder and also strengthen our public distribution system. I have no doubt that the government, which has demonstrated clearly its abilities and its determination, will be able to do it. I may briefly mention about some of the very significant achievements during 1988. In spite of all challenges, we expect an industrial growth of 8 to 9%. This is commendable, and I hope our friends on the other side, though they oppose this motion, will not disagree with something which is so visible and clear over.